Welcome back. In this new section, we're going to be starting the pagination. So let's get to it. First of all, we're going to build a bunch of variables, okay? So don't get overwhelming. Remember, I'm not holding you by the hand here so that you know, but I'm going to explain things as best as I can. Jump into functions.php. And by the way, those of you that want the code or need it as a reference, that's going to be included, okay? So go to your reference files and you should be finding this function updated with pagination. If not, just find another file that would probably say pagination.php and it will have this get products function code, okay? It will either be in the introduction of this new section or the reference files. So now what we need to do here is we need to attack this, and I say attack because we need to write a lot of code before the while loop, okay? Because we need to access our query first just to find out how many rows we have, okay? So we could just say rows like this, just, a variable, and we can go ahead and say, well, with my SQLite, we can use a function called numRows, and we pass in the query, and that will give us the amount of rows we have. We can check that out by just doing echo rows, save it, and then go back here, and if we refresh this, let's go back, we should be able, oh, this is the wrong one, this is the right one, and we see that we have 99 products, okay, or 99 rows. Let me just take that off from there. Okay, so we get in the rows. That's pretty cool. But now we need to actually detect the page, okay? And we're gonna be using a little bit of regular expressions. Don't be scared, don't be alarmed. A regular expression is, it's kind of hard if you don't know, but we're just gonna use one line of regular expression here. Oh, and by the way, I have a course on regular expressions, and if you really want to become a developer 100%, you should actually go and take that course. At least put it in your wish list and take it later, or write it down, because it's a really, really great course. It makes regular expression really easy to learn, and it's super powerful. But anyway, let's get to it. So what I want to do is I want to detect first if I have some type of get requests. All right, let's just use this get, and oops, there we go. We're going to be managing everything. If you remember what we had before, we had a page value up here, and I should actually keep that available there so that you can see it. Let me just do it again, and you see this page here. That's what we're gonna be detecting for, if that's set, okay? So if that's set, then we want to do certain things, right? So, well, first of all, what I want to do is I want to set a variable called page, and we're going to be using a function called replace. And as you can see, this will give us, we have to write the pattern here, which is the regular expression pattern, what we are replacing that pattern with. Remember, this is a preg replace function, and whatever that subject is, which in this case would be the page right here. So let's write our regular expressions right here. We are going to be using some single quotes, putting this in between this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to negate anything that's not numbers. So that's what we're doing in this function. Okay. So I'm going to be replacing anything that's not numbers with an empty string. Simple as that. So nothing. So basically what we want to do is, I'm going to put that in here because that's a subject. And of course, I need to wrap this whole thing like this. Refresh, save. Now, if I do echo page, I want you to pay attention to what happens. So if I had this here and press enter, you can see that we are getting that value. That's the page. Okay. But if I try to, let's say, put an n there, we get nothing because it's being replaced by an empty string. Simple as that, right? So that's what this regular expression is doing. Do you see how powerful that is? That's only a scratch of the surface, guys. It's nothing. All right, so once we have that, let's come back here and say, well, if that's not set, we want to do something else. What do we want to do? Well, if that's not set, then we are on page 1, right? We want to set that to page 1. Okay, so now we're done with that. Let's create some more variables. It's going to be the per page variable, very important. This is going to be how many products you want per page, right? So I want, let's say, 6 products. I'm going to put that there. Then we also need a last page for a pagination. So last page would be, well, we need to calculate the rows divided by the last page. That should give us, well, actually divided not by the last page. We have the, by this number right here. That should give us, okay, the last page. Let's actually use a function here called ceil just to make sure we don't get no floats or anything. We just round this up. Okay, simple as that. What else do we need? And if you don't understand this, guys, I completely understand. This is something that it just takes a little bit of thinking, but it's well worth it. Okay, I suggest you go through the code and rewatch the video if you don't understand it. I'm gonna try my best to explain every possible scenario here, but this is not a beginner's code. Okay, so one thing that I want to do here is I want to say, well, if, and let's just do here, if page is smaller than 1, okay, we don't want that, so I'm gonna set that to 1. Okay, else if let's do another condition here. What else do we want to find out? Well, if the page, why do I keep writing the square brackets? If the page is greater than the last page, we don't want that either, right? So what can we do in that case? Well, we can set the page to the last page, and that would take care of the issue. Okay, just a couple conditions here, so that way we, you know, and if you want to comment this, go ahead and do it, guys. I suggest you do. I'm not going to do that because that's just gonna take me hours to do, and I want this to be as fast as possible. Okay, you know, I'm gonna leave this lecture the way it is. That way it's easily digested, so that way you can, you know, digest through this information. And I'll see you in the next lecture. Take care.